Yusra had read the note from school so many times that the paper had gone soft to the folds. It said 4 words she cannot put down. Your son is too sensitive. Yusra is 38. She fixes bicycles for a living, and she is good at it, and she has been called too sensitive herself since she was a girl. Her son is Sammy. He is 9. He cries at the end of films. He can hear the fridge from his bedroom, and he sorts buttons by how they feel instead of by color. It is a wet Tuesday. She has brought him to a small clinic behind the library to see a woman named Ada, who has been listening to children for 40 years. Yusra is afraid of one thing only. She is afraid Ada will agree with the school. And Ada, it turns out, tells every parent 4 things. And she always saves the 4th for last.
The coat stays on. The room feels cold and I've stopped apologizing for that.
The school sent a note.
I read it.
They said he's too sensitive. It's not a diagnosis, just a complaint that keeps coming back.
So does that mean it isn't true?
The part about being sensitive is real. The 2 is just someone's opinion. Ada has a way of saying a thing once and then waiting. Yusra found she was holding her breath the way she used to as a girl until a feeling had finished passing.
Can I tell you the first thing?
Please.
He isn't feeling too much. He's taking in more.
Same room as everyone else. Same noise. His brain keeps more of it and turns it over for longer.
Longer.
It isn't a fault in his wiring, just the setting it was built with. Yusra thought about the fridge. Sammy had told her once, quite calmly, that it hums in 2 notes, and she had said that's nice, love, and thought nothing more of it.
He told me the fridge hums in 2 notes.
It does.
Does it?
Most of us simply don't notice those quiet sounds.
The second thing, he isn't rare. The school made it sound rare. About 1 in 5 people are wired this way, maybe even 1 in 3. It's in animals too. Every litter has its bold ones and its careful ones. 2 ways of being alive. Not one right one and one wrong one. Yusra laughed, surprised by its sound, while Sammy's buttons clacked like rain on a tin roof.
My mother used to say I'd been given a thin skin.
And what did you do with that?
I got quieter.
She learned to shrink herself so she wouldn't cause trouble.
That was a thing Yusra had never said out loud to anybody. She said it to a woman she had known for 11 minutes in a cold room, in a coat she had not taken off.
And is it a good life? Being no trouble?
It's a small one.
Rain traced slow lines down the window while the room stayed quiet.
Third thing. This one surprises people.
A sensitive child struggles more when the room feels harsh.
I know that. I've watched it.
You didn't let me finish.
In a kind room, they do better than everyone. Not the same as everyone. Better.
Better.
The same sensitivity that hurts him in a bad setting can make him bloom in a good one. Yusra sat with that. All her life, the word sensitive had only ever pointed downwards. Nobody had ever mentioned that it also pointed up.
So it isn't him.
It was never only him. It's him in the room.
Change the room and you change the child. That isn't a hopeful saying. It's just what happens.
Her grandmother once said, "The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that stands."
My grandmother used to say, "The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that stands."
Your grandmother was ahead of us.
Then Ada put both hands flat on the desk, the way people do when they're finally going to say the thing they sat down to say.
The fourth thing. I save it, because parents cry.
Say it.
It isn't the noise that hurts him. It's that nobody gives him the hour afterwards.
He doesn't need less life. He needs more time after it.
Give him an hour after the noise, with the door closed and no expectations.
That's it.
Almost nobody does that because it looks like doing nothing. Yusra thought of every school trip and every party and every long, loud day that had ended in a bath and homework and a boy sitting on his bed with his hands over his ears. And she thought of herself at 9 years old, in a house where the answer to a hard day was to be told, quite kindly, to stop making a face.
Nobody ever gave me the hour.
No. And you've been tired ever since.
That was the sentence. That was the one that undid her.
I came here to find out what was wrong with him.
You came to find out what was never wrong with you.
Yusra wiped her face with the back of her grease-stained wrist and let out a small laugh.
What do I tell the school?
Tell the school the word isn't two, it's more.
Then ask them for that hour of quiet.
And if they say no?
If they refuse, you can give him that hour at home. It's your house.
Out in the waiting room, Sammy had finished. He had made 4 piles of buttons on the floor. Smooth ones, ridged ones, cold ones, and the ones he could not decide about. He's been doing that since he was 3. Of course he has. He's reading them. Yusra crouched down beside him on the floor in her red raincoat, and she did not tell him to hurry, and she did not tell him it was only buttons. She slipped a smooth button into her coat pocket, not quite sure why, and kept it. That evening they came home wet, and Sammy went straight to his room, and Yusra did not follow him, and did not ask about his day, and put the kettle on instead. She let him have the hour. It felt like the easiest thing she'd ever done.
If somebody once told you that you were too sensitive, and you have been quietly folding yourself smaller ever since, you were never too much. Somebody just never gave you the hour.
One quiet minute behind a closed door is where someone like you begins to come back. Sammy came out after his hour, hungry, and told his mother the fridge was humming in 2 notes again. And she said yes. She could hear it too now, and she meant it.